Oh, hello, class. Welcome to my home office. Excuse my appearance for a moment. I was just trying on a new Egyptian manskirt. I mean kilt. Yeah, kilt. I think it looks pretty good. In any case, today I wanted to talk to you about Egyptian tomb construction and how the tombs they built connected to their belief in an afterlife. Let's look at one of the earliest types of tombs that the ancient Egyptians built. These were known as mastabas. Mastabas, as you can see, were made of stone or mud brick. They varied in size based on a person's wealth and power. The richer and more powerful you were, the larger the mastaba. Above ground, they would have a small chapel where relatives could go and say prayers and leave offerings. And below ground, they would have an underground burial chamber where the person's body and their personal belongings would be placed for protection. Eventually, the most rich and powerful person in all of ancient Egypt, the pharaoh, wasn't satisfied with one large mastaba. I mean, where's he going to store all of his manskirts? I mean, kilts for the afterlife. This pharaoh's name was Zoser. He asked his architect to build him a new type of tomb that represented the power and wealth of the pharaoh. In the end, the architect ended up creating what we now call a step pyramid. Let me climb up on the desk here so I can show you a little bit more details on the step pyramid. Oh, there we go. Let me try that again. Oh, there we go. As you can see, just like the mastabas, they're made out of mud, brick, or stone. But as you can see on the bottom here, they created one large mastaba and then simply began to put smaller and smaller mastabas on top. Once they did that, you can see that it created this step-like appearance, and that's kind of where they get the name step pyramid. Just like a normal mastaba, however, above ground there is a chapel, although a little bit of a larger one, where relatives could go and say prayers and leave offerings. And below ground, as you can see, there's still an underground burial chamber where the person's body and their personal belongings would be placed for protection. Now let me hop down from here. Not to be outdone by the pharaoh Zoser, later pharaohs took the idea of a step pyramid and improved upon it to create what historians call a true pyramid. True pyramids are only made out of stone. Mastaba construction is no longer used. Also, the sides of the pyramid, when finished, are smooth and not step-like. Above-ground chapels where relatives could go and say prayers and leave offerings are now located outside of the tomb and are much larger. And below ground, they would still have an underground burial chamber where the person's body and personal belongings would be placed for protection. As amazing as true pyramids were, they were only constructed during the Old Kingdom, from approximately 2700 BC to 2200 BC. The pharaoh decided to stop building pyramids for two main reasons. One was because their construction was extremely expensive, and they took a very long time to build. The largest took 20 to 25 years to construct. The second reason they stopped building pyramids was because the personal belongings were often taken and the bodies were usually destroyed. This was happening because tomb robbers knew exactly where these gigantic pyramids were in the middle of the desert. It's like putting a big target on them. So they very easily were able to get inside, steal the belongings, and most likely destroy the bodies. This is why pharaohs and other wealthy people began building secret underground tombs in the Valley of the Kings. So why was that such a big deal? Why did the pharaohs and other wealthy individuals decide that they had to find a secret location for their tombs? Well, it had everything to do with the purpose of tombs in the first place. The ancient Egyptians built them for two reasons. One was to protect the body so that the soul can return, recognize it, and unite with it in the afterlife. And the second reason was to protect the personal belongings of the individual so they could use and enjoy them in the afterlife. If the belongings were being stolen and if the body was being destroyed, neither one of those two things would be fulfilled. So that is why they stopped building pyramids and started building the secret underground tombs. Well, I hope you learned a little bit of something about tomb construction here in my home office. I'm now going to be working on some other project. Where's my ride out of here? Hold on a second. Oh, there he is right there. Oh, now I found my ride out of here. Let me just hop on this guy right here. All right, everybody. Well, see you next time. This is Mr. Neville. Peace out.